What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing. You get me?
I don't get you. I think you gotta demonstrate.
Hawk Tuah, spit
No,
on
like-
it, spit on it.
So, the Hawk Tuah Girl went from blowing up the entire internet with one wild sentence to selling $38 foot pics to just 9 people. And somehow, that's not even the craziest part of this whole mess. Everybody already knows the clip that made Haley famous, so there's no need to replay it again. Right after that moment, her life flipped overnight. She went from being unknown to one of the most talked about names everywhere. Celebrities started dropping her name like it was nothing. Joe Rogan mentioned her on his podcast, and she was getting paid $30,000 just to show up at a Miami club. Even Nashville gave her a plaque. Yeah, an actual plaque, all for saying one sentence outside a bar, which sounds unreal when you really think about it. Still, most people figured her fame would fade fast. Instead of taking the quick win and stepping away smart, she jumped straight into a podcast called Talk to Her.
Well, welcome back to another episode of Talk Tuah. It's been a hot minute since we've been back here, but now we're the official owners of Talk Tuah.
Now, to be fair, it actually worked at the start, even if the content itself wasn't exactly groundbreaking. The podcast somehow climbed all the way to number 3 on Spotify charts. Not bad at all for 2 regular girls from Tennessee with zero media training, just talking about random topics and vibing. But even that kind of success wasn't enough. Somewhere along the way, Haley caught that full-on influencer business mindset, the same kind you see with people like Logan Paul. Then December 2024 hit, and that's when everything flipped in the worst way possible. She launched her own cryptocurrency, a meme coin called the Hawk token. Now, before it dropped, she actually tried to calm everyone down. Her team put out a statement saying they didn't sell any tokens early and no influencers got special deals, which sounded solid on the surface. The only problem? That whole promise wasn't true. Not even close. It was one of those carefully worded setups that sounds honest, but hides what's really going on. What actually happened was they pre-sold a huge chunk of the tokens to insiders before launch. So the second regular fans started buying in, those insiders were already locked, loaded, and ready to dump everything right on top of them. And that's exactly how it played out. The coin launched and instantly exploded, hitting a $500 million market cap within minutes. People were hyped, throwing money in, thinking they caught the next big wave early. But then, just 20 minutes later, it all crashed. The value dropped by over 90% like a straight collapse. Fans were posting in real time, watching their money disappear right in front of them, completely shocked at how fast it happened. The comment sections went wild. Some people were saying they couldn't cover rent anymore, while others claimed they lost everything because they trusted her name. It turned into chaos almost instantly, and the backlash was loud, and it didn't stop there. On top of that coordinated sell-off, the team had built in a 15% trading fee that sent money straight into their pockets. That move alone pulled in nearly $2 million in just one day. So it wasn't just a one-time hit. They were collecting on both sides, coming and going. Then crypto investigator CoffeeZilla stepped in and started digging through the blockchain data. What he found made things even worse.
Who's making millions of dollars on fees from this rug pull?
That's not a scheme. That's the
Who's making fees?
So we can keep this thing going for years. Okay. That's how do you think? There's so many expenses.
Who makes the money on the fees? Someone just made over $1 million on fees. Who made it?
Around 96% of the total supply was controlled by the team, leaving only about 4% actually available for fans. And when he brought Haley and her team onto a live call with over 80,000 people listening, instead of clearing things up, they avoided the questions completely. Right in the middle of the most serious moment in that entire conversation, Haley did something nobody expected. She casually said she was going to bed, like actually going to sleep. While over 80,000 people were tuned in, waiting for answers, she just checked out and left. It felt like everyone was watching her walk away from her own career in real time, and she didn't even look back. After that, she completely disappeared. No posts, no statements, no explanations, nothing. Just silence for months. And while she stayed quiet, things behind the scenes started heating up fast. A class action lawsuit got filed, and Burrick Law, a firm known for handling crypto-related cases, started gathering people who said they were affected. Then reports came out that federal agents even showed up at her grandmother's house asking questions. That led to a frantic call, with her grandmother telling her that authorities were at the door. The situation wasn't just online drama anymore. It was getting very real, but somehow it still didn't stop there.
Come to Granny's house and knocked on her door, and they're like, "Oh, you're not in any trouble. We just want to ask you questions about everything." And then they wanted to see my phone. So I was like, okay, well, that's not a problem. Interrogated me, asking me questions and everything else related to crypto. They went through my phone. So they cleared.
Right in the middle of all the crypto backlash, she had also launched a dating advice app called Pookie Tools. This app charged $7 a week or $50 a year. And what did users actually get? An AI chatbot giving conversation starters, outfit ideas, and something called a bold predictor. When TechCrunch reviewed it, they described it as fine, which, let's be honest, isn't exactly glowing praise. It basically came across like a generic AI tool with her branding on top. There wasn't anything unique, no standout features, and no clear sign she was deeply involved in building it. And that's where people started noticing a pattern. It felt like the same formula again. Build trust with an audience, attach your name to a product, and let everything else play out however it does. Then, when she finally came back online, she dropped a podcast episode to explain her side. But instead of clearing things up, she made things even more confusing. She admitted she didn't even have Twitter downloaded, and that someone else would send her lines to read, which she would then record and post. So, by her own words, she was basically following a script for projects she didn't fully control or understand.
What would you say to your fans that actually lost money in the coin?
I feel like I let them down a lot. It makes me feel really bad that they trusted me and I led them to something that I did not have enough knowledge about. I thought it would be best if I just sat here and addressed it myself.
She even compared her situation to Paris Hilton promoting a kitchen product, trying to frame it like she was just the face of something bigger. That comparison might have worked, except Paris Hilton wasn't tied to anything that allegedly left her fans dealing with major financial losses. That's a huge difference, and people didn't let that slide.
It kind of sucks. There's people out here that hate me for promoting a coin. It's like Paris Hilton. I mean, she's got cooking stuff out, like cooking appliances. She didn't sit there and take the time to make them.
No.
She's just the face of it.
Yeah.
Those are hers, you know?
So that's pretty much like you with the crypto coin.
Yeah, I was just a spokesperson for
Yeah.
it. I mean,
Eventually, the SEC cleared her name on a technical level, but by then, it didn't even matter. The internet had already made up its mind, and once that happens, there's no reset button. The damage was done, and the backlash stuck around. Then came VidCon 2025, which was supposed to be a comeback moment. She hosted a live episode of Talk Tour, but things went sideways fast. The guests she brought on started making jokes that didn't land well at all, and it got so uncomfortable that nearly half the audience stood up and walked out mid-show. Imagine watching your own crowd leave like that in real time. Brutal. And it somehow got even worse. When someone in the audience brought up the crypto situation, Haley responded by saying, "Does this look like the face of a girl who could talk to you about crypto?" That line might have been meant as a joke, but it hit completely wrong. It came off as dismissive, especially to people who were still upset, and it only made the tension in the room even heavier. This is where everything really starts falling apart. After losing a huge chunk of her audience, damaging her reputation, and reportedly dealing with expensive legal battles, she decided to try something new: Twitch streaming. Now, that could have been a fresh start, but there was one big issue. She openly admitted she didn't even know what Twitch was. During an interview, she said, "See, I'm so uneducated. I don't know anything." And that didn't come across as humble. It sounded like the same pattern all over again, jumping into things without fully understanding them and hoping it works out. So, not surprisingly, the streaming attempt didn't go far. She went live just 12 times, and then stopped. Completely. And the only reason most people even noticed was because a viral tweet pointed out that the Hawk Tuah Girl was live, with just 9 viewers watching. That post alone pulled in 6 million views. Think about that for a second. Way more people saw a tweet making fun of her than the number of viewers she actually had on her stream. The gap is wild, and yeah, it's kind of unbelievable how that played out. But somehow, it still gets worse. In early 2026, she made another move that had people seriously questioning everything. She launched a fanfics account. Yeah, that's where things ended up. And honestly, a lot of people saw this coming from a mile away. For context, fanfics is basically a toned-down subscription platform where creators post content like bikini shots or lifestyle photos, nothing explicit allowed. And this became her next big play. She set the pricing at $10 a month for the base tier, $15 for the mid-tier, and then jumped all the way to $100 a month for the premium level. So, what does $100 a month actually get you? Priority messages, one-on-one chats, and access to safe-for-work photos. That's it. Which left a lot of people confused, because you're essentially paying that much for content that feels pretty similar to what's already out there for free. And if that wasn't enough, she also started selling individual posts for $38 each. And yes, that even included a teaser for feet pictures priced at $38. At that point, people really started raising eyebrows at the whole situation. All of that for feet pics from someone whose last big project was tied to people saying they lost serious money. That contrast alone is enough to make anyone pause and think, what is actually happening here? And that's what makes Haley Welch's story so crazy. She was handed one of the rarest chances the internet ever gives someone. Perfect timing, instant attention, no long grind needed. The whole world was watching, supporting, and ready to see her win. But every time there was a big decision to make, things seemed to go the wrong way. The podcast had real momentum until the crypto move changed everything. A comeback could have been possible, but the way things were handled pushed people further away. The streaming path could have been a reset, but it barely got traction. And now the fanfics era just feels like another move that left people more confused than impressed. At a certain point, the pattern became impossible to ignore. Instead of rebuilding trust, each step seemed to lose more of it. The audience shrank, the hype faded, and the support that once felt massive just disappeared. So now, instead of being remembered as a viral success story, her name gets brought up as an example of how fast things can fall apart. Not because the internet suddenly turned, but because of the decisions made along the way. One move after another, and it kept stacking up. At this point, the biggest thing she's built isn't a lasting brand. It's a downfall that played out in front of everyone watching. If you made it this far, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment with your thoughts, and share this with someone who needs to see it.